Here we are. All right. I think we are live. Awesome. Awesome. Good evening, you guys. Good evening. Whew, take a breather. What a weekend. It's Sunday evening. As you guys are joining and jumping on here, I am going to copy this link really quick and see if I can figure out how to post it to Facebook. So bear with me. Hope you are having an amazing evening, you guys. Hang tight for just a moment. I am posting the link, the live link on Facebook for those that need it. So bear with me. I'll be back in just a second here. I'm just going to keep talking. Let's see, paste, post, and cross our fingers that technology is on our side. Okay, all right. Hopefully it's going to allow us to post and share on Facebook. I hope you guys are having a wonderful... All right, I think we did it. Let's see. Should work. I don't know. Let's see. All right, guys. Hi, guys. I see you logging on. Hey, Tanya. Hey, Jack. Good to see you, buddy. All right. I really hope that I enabled this properly on Facebook. I'm going to try to share it one more way. Bear with me. Share via Facebook. Let's see. Yes, there we go. Public. Where's the post button? Bear with me, guys. There we go. Post. All right. Awesome. I think I did it right this time. I am not tech savvy in the least bit. I'm not even going to try to be. Not even going to claim it. Nowhere close. But we're here. We're connected. Welcome. Welcome to another live Q&A session in my bedroom. I hope you all have had a wonderful weekend. I hope it's been restful. And I hope that this weekend you had time to get into something that sparked light in you, whatever it is. I hope that this weekend has been rejuvenative, restorative, relaxing, all of the good things you needed to get you ready for another work week. We are going into a full moon tomorrow. So tonight, some of the messaging that I want to share is all about capturing the light of the moon, capturing the full moon energy, and some really cool things you can do to do that. We were channeling earlier today, and we are going to be sending out tomorrow a newsletter with some specific rituals suggested by Spirit, by Erik. For those of you that know, we were channeling Erik earlier. And a really neat ritual that he suggested 2 nights in a row to kind of capture the power of the moon. And the night after the full moon, a ritual to really set your intentions. This is such a phenomenal time. The next couple of weeks is such a phenomenal time to collect the energy of your intentions and put it into motion, taking action towards manifestation. So really, really cool things. Really, really interesting time we're in too. As you guys know, we are in the energy of the Lion's Gate. So what that means is anchoring your light, anchoring your intentions, and really activating the reality behind your intentions. So right now, going into this full moon tomorrow, it's all about, energetically, it's all about harvesting that energy, taking action. So that's what I want to share with you guys tonight. So I want to help you guys with. Now, I will say, for those of you that have been kind of, tagging along a little bit, you've been submitting your questions on Facebook, which is the best place to do it for now. I have been making videos to answer your questions, had some technical issues that seemed to just get worse as the week went on, but I did get at least one video up and out. So continue to send in your questions. Likely, the best place to do that is going to be Facebook, in the comment section of any of my recent posts. That's where I kind of go to look at your questions. What are you curious about? What do you want to channel spirit about? What's on your mind? What's in your heart? Let's talk about it. And so that's where I go and collect the questions. I write them down in my journal and make these videos for you guys. So equipment is getting upgraded, and quality of content is getting upgraded as well in the next couple of weeks. So keep your eyes and ears out for that. I'm going to train myself how to use this little guy, little DJ Osmo. It's a super cool steady cam that fits in your pocket. So I look forward to upgrading the quality of the content that we're sharing with you guys, and connecting with you in the meantime, continuing to build this sense of community. No matter where we're at in the world, no matter what's going on, staying connected, I think, is so important. So Small Wildflowers says, oh, I don't like Facebook much. I can understand where you're coming from. I'm not a huge fan of Facebook, but I think if you stay intentional, then it can be great. Just jump on there, share something inspiring, share what you love, or be intentional about connecting where you need to, and then get off. But to scroll and scroll and scroll is like, ugh, kind of sucks your energy. So I would encourage you maybe just to be a little more intentional. Hey, Wendy. Hey, Mom. I see you. Interesting. So I see you guys on here. Thank you so much for joining. I see your questions. Some really cool things looks like we're going to get into tonight. Also, I want to share that for those of you that don't know, sorry about that. My daughter's a little bit, out of sorts tonight, but I am going to be joining Caesar and Ty in Sedona, and Astarius in just about 9 days, and I cannot wait. So we are going to be hiking and connecting to the land, putting our feet in the water, putting our heart on the earth. Those lands have been calling, and it's time to go. So I'm going to be going to Sedona to capture whatever is happening there energetically and align with it, resonate, but also share it with you. We're going to stream live from Sedona every single day that we're there, whatever we're getting into, no matter how bad we're melting in the desert heat right now, we're going to stream live and share with you guys every trip of the journey. And I have a surprise for you guys, but I can't reveal it until the trip, until it's happening. So I will go live. Fingers crossed I have service to be live. But we're going to go do and visit and experience something we've never done before. So stay tuned for that. I can't wait. It's going to be mind-blowing. Lots of cool things coming up, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. I also want to take you guys to the land of where the retreat is happening. So we're going to visit that place as well, and show you what the cabins are like, show you where we're going to be doing this retreat, so that, number one, you see and you know that it's okay to travel, that it's safe to travel. Just a fun fact for the day. I see your questions about COVID. Did you guys know that, just a little fun fact, in the year 2018, in the first 4 months of 2018, there were more deaths than the first 4 months of 2020. And so this is information that's just specific to Ohio, where I live. Benny says hi. But I point this out because I really invite you into the space of your personal power, and not to live in fear with this whole COVID thing anymore. It's kind of like what I've been hearing is with this whole thing is time's up. It's time to, especially with this full moon, it's time to really integrate your personal power and activate the reality that you want by rectifying your ego. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but if you can bring your ego into an alignment, into an upright position with you, then it's no longer eating you alive, so to speak. And it does that by feeding off of the fear it creates in us. And it does that by creating guilt within us and shame and all of these different things. So I really encourage you to practice discernment, ground yourself, and listen to your own truth when it comes to COVID. And also the vaccines. Quite a controversial topic. I would never over my dead body would I take a vaccine for that fake illness. Now, I know those might be fighting words for some of you, but that's just my personal truth and I'm sticking to it. So anyways, I just invite you into that space of really believing in yourself, believing in your passions again, giving your passions for travel and adventure and experience, love and life again, so that you bring your dreams back to life, so that they feel tangible and close to you again, so that they feel within reach. Something interesting that came through a channeling that we did a couple days ago that I'll share was to look at the whole cause and effect of this whole COVID thing. I don't even know why I'm talking about it because I hate it so much. I think it's ridiculous. It's a pandemic and it's, I won't go too far into it because then I'll get in on tangent. But the cause and effect behind the COVID situation, like any situation, is the subscription to it is the cause. The effect is the programming. I'll say it again. Subscribing to the fear or the belief or, the media or what's being said and so on and so on and so on. Subscribing to that sort of group think is the cause. That's why there's information being put out, because there is subscription. Think about it. If everybody canceled their subscription, it wouldn't exist. It wouldn't exist. So then the effect becomes the programming, changing our minds, changing our actions, changing our thoughts. So I want you guys to think about what that means for you. Subscribe to your inner voice first. Subscribe to your truth. I, again, have since the very beginning asked Spirit about COVID and very clearly was told it is manufactured. There's nothing to be afraid of, and don't ask it again. Don't ask again. And so I was like, okay, that's that. That's all I need to know. Move on. And I have. And for those of you that don't know, I travel a ton. And literally the first 6.5 months of this year, I was on an airplane every single Sunday. I kid you not. Every single Sunday without taking extra precaution. Barely, now only recently wearing a mask because they force you to, but even I put it on and I just put it under my chin because I'm not going to wear a mask. Just not going to do it. I'm not afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of. So, and it's interesting because when I do that, nobody says anything either. So it's just so fascinating, the programming that's happening right now. And I've been fine. I haven't stopped traveling and I haven't gotten ill. I've been just fine. And so it's interesting, why the suppression, maybe we can get into that, a different time, but I love your comment there. Small Wildflowers says fear, the acronym, false evidence appearing real. Exactly. So that's why I want tonight to be about rectifying the ego. Bring the ego upright, align with it in a way that it no longer eats you alive, but it becomes your best friend. And it's oh, thank you, Preston. That's so sweet. Thank you. The ego is not the enemy. The ego is our best friend because it gives us the backdrop to see. It gives us the polarity to see. The enemy is the fight we create with the ego, right? When we go into the resistance and, oh my gosh, it's so hard to overcome. When we think we have to suppress the ego, we create a dual self and think, okay, over here, I'm not the ego. We create a dual self and then duplicity breeds out, and then all of a sudden we have, split versions of ourselves all over the place. So I see you, CR. I see you. People dying is not false evidence out of respect of their souls. I'll wear a mask and protect the elderly and the ill or the vulnerable. I do recognize that people are getting sick. I certainly deeply question the false reporting of it actually being COVID. And even the CDC has admitted millions of false positives in the COVID. So please be aware. Anyways, even beyond that, even beyond the surface level of society and what's happening in society and the facts on these different websites and things, go to your inner truth. Because if you are a master of your environment, meaning in alignment, nothing can trump you. Nothing can take over you. But you have to start from that place of harmonic resonance. You have to cultivate that interconnectedness and connectedness in such a way that, again, you are a master of your environment. So because of that alignment, there's no threat. If energy, meaning you, right, your soul, is in a place of like it's wavering, unsure, if there's doubt, if there's fear, even reaction, like if you're just reacting, that is energetically like an open window. It's magnetically attracting it like parasitic type of energy. So think about for a moment, like your energy is a momentum. The essence of you is a momentum. And energy follows direction. If the essence of you isn't in alignment and there isn't direction, chaos ensues. You become this big ball of just swirling energy without direction. That's like a playground for illness, for anything to manifest, really, because it's not aligned. When things come into harmonic resonance, that's literally when miracles occur. That's when you see truly, you hear truly, meaning in your clairs, your psychic awareness, your psychic senses, because that's your first nature. That's your true nature. That's when miracles happen as far as tumors vanishing and health realigning. So my question is, I do see you guys talking about wear a mask, please. It's not to protect you, it's to protect others. Why? And I don't want this to turn into an argument, but I want to know what you're thinking, Joe, when you're saying to protect others. If I'm not sick, there's nothing to protect them from. So I'm just kind of curious as to what you mean by that. But I won't wear a mask just because I guess I'm just claustrophobic. I kind of freak out when I wear it. Anyway, even the other night, yesterday, when I was sanding furniture in the garage, you're supposed to wear a mask when you're sanding because of all the dust, but I just can't. I just hyperventilate and I freak out and I ain't gonna do it. Sorry. Asymptomatic. I'm not Johnson. I'm not asymptomatic. I'm trying to show you that you create your reality. What I'm trying to show you is your entire world, your entire ecosystem is just responding to you, responding to who you are, responding to what you are, and the alignment that you hold true to. So I encourage you to go within. And the reason why I can speak on this is because of the past diseases that I once had that I healed by practicing alignment, literally alignment. And I'll go into that for just a few moments. Please don't mind the background noise. My kids are crazy. They're hyper tonight, probably because we're going into a full moon tomorrow. But it is mind over matter, Amelie. It is. Oh my gosh. Jay passed out at the store from wearing a mask. I would do the same thing. I feel like I would I can't. So, okay. So briefly, I just want to share this briefly, and then I want to get to your questions. Oh my gosh, my son is going to get it. I told him to be quiet. Anyways, about maybe more like 4 or 5 years ago, I was having really weird symptoms in my body, like everything from randomly my hands and feet would swell to I would get this butterfly rash across my face it would be 80 degrees outside and I would be shivering. I kid you not. Like my family and friends thought I was crazy. Like, you're always cold. But it was a severe intolerance to cold. Like I would be shivering 75, 80 degrees. And then I began to experience symptoms like fatigue that was so profound. It was just almost impossible to get out of bed. I was so, and my bones, literally my bones just ached. And I obviously knew something was wrong. I also was choking a lot on food. So I had all of these weird things happening in a compressed amount of time, like 2-year time frame. Started choking a lot on foods that I was eating, and diet appetite was just really weird. Long story short, I've shared this with you guys before. Some of you may not know. I was diagnosed. Had some blood work done and was diagnosed with lupus and hypothyroidism about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe, something like that, maybe even 6. I don't know. And then the throat stuff, I always felt like there was a big lump in my throat. It was so, and I would turn my head and I would feel it shifting. It was so bizarre. So that the thyroid issues were manifesting, but what was actually happening was my throat was closing up. It was just producing scar tissue, and it would close up. So actually, in 2-year time frame, I had 3 different surgeries to stretch my esophagus. And then beyond that, when I was taking medicine for hypothyroidism, Spirit informed me that that was affirming illness, that I didn't develop the illness because of a lack of medicine. So to get right with myself, meaning aligned. I didn't know what they meant at the time, but I just followed what I was basically hearing and being told to do. Then when I was diagnosed with lupus, they were quite alarmed. I'll never forget going to Newark, and this female, really beautiful Indian doctor wanted to start intravenous therapy right away. And I literally just walked out because I saw this trajectory of a lifetime of illness and pills and IVs and subscriptions. And that's not me. And I knew that wasn't my truth. And so at that moment, when she was like, suggesting we start intravenous therapy right away for the lupus, I just was like, absolutely not. I couldn't resonate with it. There was nothing in me that could vibrate that way. And so I left against her guidance and never went back. And what Spirit encouraged me to do, this might sound crazy to you guys, but it worked. So, and I've seen it work for so many. Spirit encouraged me to wean off of the medicine, and the days that so it was like every other day, and the days that I didn't take the medicine, to take a dose of myself in my mind and in my heart, kind of like drinking up myself again. I know that sounds strange, bear with me. But so it was like a way of grounding. I would substitute, I would put the medicine to the side and I would actually welcome in myself. And I did that over and over, just naturally, as they guided me to, weaned myself off of my thyroid medicine and healed hypothyroidism and lupus. Symptoms vanished probably over about a 2 to 3 week time frame. And then the throat issues stopped also. After having 3 surgeries, my throat would close up and I would start choking on foods again. And then I would have to have surgery to stretch my esophagus. Miserable. Nobody wants to have surgery like that. It's like the worst sore throat you could ever imagine. Had that surgery 3 different times until I realized my throat was closing up because I wasn't speaking my truth. Lupus and hypothyroidism are autoimmune issues. So because I wasn't resonating in my truth, my body was also doing the same thing. It was attacking itself because energetically, that's what I was doing. I was suppressing myself. So all the body can do is mimic what you're doing energetically. This is why I'm saying when it comes to COVID, have big faith that if you are in alignment, absolutely nothing can take you out of that. I mean, you have to think about what that really means. That if you're looking at a field of energy and it's undetermined, anything can go in and influence that and manifest in a flash. But if you are looking at a field of energy that is determined, grounded, with intent, if it doesn't vibrate with that at that level, it cannot be. It's very simple, fundamental law of attraction. It is quantum mechanics at its simplest form. So I encourage you guys, when it comes to COVID, think for yourself. Feel from your heart. Listen to your heart. Are you really at risk? We all have, well, not all of us, but I do acknowledge the different populations, the geriatric, younger children that have underlying health issues that you might feel you're more susceptible. But I promise you, I have channeled over and over. And I didn't want tonight to even be about COVID. We weren't even going to talk about that. But I guess that's where we're going. I hope that this messaging reminds you to align to your personal truth in your essence and truth in your being, and not groupthink. And please turn off your TV and stop watching the news for a week and see how your life changes. I bet you it will change in a really great way. Okay, so when it comes to COVID, a lot of you guys have asked, like, when is it going to be over? When is it going to be over? I encourage you guys all to go into your inner self and unsubscribe. Unsubscribe to it. Unsubscribe to the fear of it, to the plan, where it's going. Unsubscribe in every way, shape, and form, and live your life. Live in your passion. Again, I personally haven't stopped traveling. Traveling is just as it always has been. The airplanes are full. When I go and I've been traveling nonstop to Florida at that. And I know everyone's thinking Florida's in this massive second wave, but it's quite bizarre because when I go down there to Palm Beach, which is one of the top counties apparently in Florida with the worst amount of cases, when I go there, the hospitals aren't full. People are out on the streets, gathering, eating dinner outdoors, everywhere. It seems like business as normal, life as usual. So it's quite strange. Remember that the news is also a business, and I just encourage you to trust what you feel connected to. And so as far as time, there's no timeline as to when is it going to stop. There's no timeline. What's most important here, that doesn't matter. What matters is how you are aligned, grounded, and how you're connecting to creating your own reality. What are you emanating? Ask yourself, what are you emanating? What am I saying about myself or to myself? Because the universe is always listening and always transacting. It's always giving you what you want, what you state you are, what you state you're capable of, what you state is within reach for you. So pay attention to that. Create from that space. Create from that inner space of voice, of passion, of heart. Because if you're just reacting, you're just perpetuating what you're reacting to. That's right. The news is the plague. That's for sure. But that's right, Jack. That is so right. Speak it into existence. When you stay connected, everybody say hi to Jack. Jack Smash 2.0, my sweetheart. That's James's son, for those of you that don't know. Everybody say hi, Jack. But when you create from that inner place, a few things happen. You ground, you get now, you get present. And that is truly the only place to create from. That is the place where you create the most spaciousness, the most mobility. When you go into what might be, what could be, what was, you take yourself out of the now. And what happens is you sort of disintegrate your personal power to create. Then you begin, what you create or what you experience is just a collateral effect. It's like collateral damage. So I hope that makes sense to you. And I hope more than anything that it grounds you into the here and now. Because this full moon that we're coming into tomorrow, Spirit has said, is one of action. It is one of harnessing that power back and rectifying what was. It's a full moon of rectifying what's been damaged, or where the conflict is, where the chaos is. Whether you want to or not, this full moon is going to do that for you. Oh, hey, Alyssa. So sweet for you guys to say hello to Jack Smash 2.0. He's on YouTube too. You should go follow him, guys. Such a sweetheart. We make little videos of finding shark teeth and stuff. But anyways, allow your heart to speak to you about what kind of ritual you feel connected to, or personal ceremony under this full moon, because I promise you it's listening. It is transacting with you. And we're actually going to release a video tomorrow of a channeling that we did to help you prepare. We were hoping to get it out tonight, but I don't know if we have enough time to edit and all of that. But you will see that tomorrow anyways, to prepare for the full moon, and then a ceremony the next day, which was quite cool. It was suggested by Erik, so I'm definitely going to do it personally. We'll share it with you guys tomorrow, so that you guys can really cultivate your personal power again and get back into action, get back into passion, and living your life the way that is fulfilling for you. Because of course, when you're in that richness, when you're in that essence, you are enlightened, so that enlightenment spreads. You naturally share that with others. And as you know, that energy itself is extremely therapeutic. So here we go. All right. I hope that was helpful. And I hope that just really kind of, brings you back into your heart and sets you straight when it comes to any sort of collective groupthink. What a scary place to be. Okay. So I definitely want to answer your questions. I'm going to scroll back through and see what questions you guys have. While you guys are doing that, I know I have one saved here on my phone, so I'm going to pull it up really quick, as I promised Leslie that I would. Let's see. Reading her question. My sister thinks if she holds space for anger or betrayal, her son's passing, that it will affect his karma, even in spirit, like ancestral trauma. Very interesting. You said it doesn't, because that's a human judgment. It also, okay. So I see, like karma crossing the veils that affects others as part of a karma, perhaps. Okay, so interesting. So what she's asking, this is a question from Leslie. If I understand the question correctly, it sounds like she's asking, thank you, Moon. That's really sweet. Thank you. It sounds like she's asking sort of, does karma like cross the veil from here when we lose a loved one? If we're holding space for like anger or frustration, do our loved ones feel that? Does that create karma and then turn into a pattern of like ancestral trauma? I do think, based on what Spirit shows me and what I feel and see, I do think that Spirit always calls it like an echo effect. So once something happens energetically, it's like there's the initial happening and then the reverberation, right? And wherever the quantum entanglement is, and I'll explain what that means in a moment, wherever the quantum entanglement is like where the reverberation sort of punctuates itself, if that makes sense. So I do feel like if we're holding frustration or anger towards a loved one on the other side, I do feel like they have awareness of that. They have a knowingness of that. They are an evolution, they are a momentum themselves, but they are not attached emotionally, and they don't build construct through emotional paradigm like we do. Like we build realities through emotions. In light body form, we don't need emotions to navigate us. So that sort of like reverberation is patterning. And so if we think of ourselves, our being, our essence as a momentum, that momentum is continually evolving. So as it pulses and awareness, it's going to continue to pulse that as it expands and grows. Hopefully that makes sense. Trying to explain what I'm seeing. But as it pulses and grows, it evolves. And sometimes we pulse at something for a long time before expansion occurs. But because quantum entanglement is a very real thing, the ancestral trauma or that connectedness is still threaded into that being on the other side. But again, they don't need the emotional attachment to evolve or to navigate through it. I hope that answers your question. So quantum entanglement is basically what it means is once you've connected with something, you can never, ever again, which is so cool to think, be described as independent of that. Let's say you have a lover and you and that lover break up and you move on and blah, blah, blah. Your energy, the essence of you, because you came into a knowingness of that being, that lover, you can never again be described as independent of that person. Same thing like with a child. Most of us create a closeness, a connectedness with our children. And even though they grow up, they move away, they move out, move on with their life, and they pass away or we pass away, still, energetically, they can never be, or we can never be described independent from them energetically. And that is because of the theory of relativity that Einstein shared with us. So that's where the ancestral trauma trickles down from generation to generation to generation and becomes part of our DNA structuring. But thanks to the tools, the technology that we have nowadays, we can restructure our DNA. We can actually change the structure of our DNA with sound harmonic resonance, intent, so many things, grounding our energy. So I hope that, oh, hey, Robin, it's good to see you on here. Leslie, I hope that answers your question for you. Right on, Rebecca. I see you. Becky, she says, I won't wear a mask either. Right on. Robin says, if you're in good alignment, what eventually causes death? Wait, if you are in good alignment, what? Well, that's really relative to the material world. Her question is, if you are in good alignment, what eventually causes death? That's extremely acute and relative to this 3D realm. Cause of death for the physical body is of course very relative to immediate environment, surroundings, so many factors, but of course divine order as well. So that kind of brings me to the topic, and I'll just be brief about this, I swear. That brings me to the topic of, oh shoot, I saw someone's question that caught my attention and now I forget what I was going to say. What brings you to the cause of death? Contracts, life contracts. So a lot of us have this belief that we have a contract when we incarnate. And I believe to a degree we do, but not in the way we think. It's not like there's this written out contract and these milestones that we are bound to walk through no matter what. The only thing we're truly contracted to is our thoughts. And that is if we are mind identified or enslaved to the mind. So become a witness of your own thoughts and watch how things shift, watch how differently things become. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. But when we incarnate, when we take on an incarnation, it is destiny and fate will have its way. There's divine order, but that divine order, that destiny and that fate is responding to our intent, the direction that we're projecting our energy. So again, hi, Nancy. It's good to see you. The only thing that you're contracted to is your thoughts. And when you change your thoughts, when you sort of even take belief out of the picture, then you'll realize like this radical freedom. You'll liberate yourself. So I hope that answers the question. I don't even know whose question that was. Kind of got lost in that one. Sometimes when I channel things that expand me too much, I get really swimmy in the headspace. So anyways, let's see here. Okay. All right. I'm just scrolling through some of your questions. I saw a comment. I didn't see who it was though, but they said that would be hard when it comes to how energy sort of echoes, and that ancestral trauma can live through us. Somebody said it like that would be hard when it comes to sexual abuse. Absolutely, it would be hard. And so in that knowingness, I would invite you to practice witness awareness, because when we go into so this is tough because there's teaching also to embrace and embody your humanity, which does have emotional reality, but also your light body that doesn't need to attach to emotional reality to have awareness, to have self-awareness. That's the ego, of course. To have awareness, we don't need self or reference of self. So what that says is we have to really disidentify with a victim mentality. It is easy to have things happen to us, and then we feel a victim and so on. And then if we don't transcend that, we transmit it to others. In new patterns, in new ways, and it's hard to see, it's hard to recognize, but we transmit it instead of transcending it and transmuting it. So I hope that makes sense. Let's see. I don't know what. Let's see. Brendan says, is it realistic to get in my car and just drive until I find somewhere I belong? Gosh. The bigger part of me wants to say no, because if you think it's somewhere to go and find, you'll always be on an infinite quest. There is resonance in different areas, like geographically. If you like, for me personally, I resonate so deeply and strong in Sedona. Also, Hawaii does something to me that's just undescribable. So there is resonance that you can find and connect to in different places. But if you're looking for a sense of self, like a sense of belonging, you belong to what you say you belong to, but it starts here and connecting with yourself, allowing yourself to basically just say yes and practice acceptance to the full essence of who you are, Brendan. So I would encourage you to save your car, save your gas money, and go into meditation and practice receiving your light, receiving essence, receiving all the things that fill you up, so that becomes shareable. And then when you do go places, you'll find that resonance. You won't be able to connect anywhere if you don't connect within first. It may drive you deeper into the feeling of disconnect. I hope that helps, Brendan, and I hope that answers your question. Let's see, why does this... Sometimes, again, you guys, sometimes this like sort of mutes your questions or deletes your questions. So it's not me. I don't know why it does that. Let's see. He may have left already. That's okay. He'll still get it energetically. He'll get the message. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so this is Lisa. She says, hi, Kim. Are multiple chronic medical conditions caused by misalignment or from a past life? I don't take meds. I'm an empath and sensitive. Lisa, a very cool question. A lot of people can, Spirit's going like this, so a lot of people can benefit from this question. Multiple chronic conditions, to me, what I'm hearing for you is both past life and now. And I know I don't mean for this to sound insensitive, but all it takes is groundedness. Like I was talking earlier, grounding yourself deeply to the present. When you cultivate presence power, nothing can trump that. Nothing can stop you unless you give it permission, unless you give it power to. So, whatever you're dealing with, first, I encourage you, just from Spirit, this is for Lisa P. Spirit is encouraging you to ask yourself if what you're embodying physically is yours or not. And also, declaring in your space that if it doesn't serve you, that it's time to turn it into light. Remember your ability. Oh, that's what the moon is all about. Okay, that makes sense. So tomorrow, again, we're going to share a video that we channeled about the moon, the full moon tomorrow. And Spirit just said that this full moon tomorrow is all about alchemy and alchemizing within you, like pulling in the light of the moon to alchemize what isn't serving you within you. So literally letting the light pool in you at whatever level it needs to resonate and vibrate. But looking at if you're creating identity from it in any way, shape, or form, or what the story is behind it. Again, I don't mean to sound insensitive, but none of it matters. None of it matters. I know that's like, what? That's my story. That's what I'm going through. And it's really hard. And all of those points are acknowledged, yes, but it's not the real you. What you're feeling and experiencing is very temporary. So the level of identity, or the depth, I should say, of identity created with it is what defines and determines the attachment. So I encourage you to look at, like for myself personally, I acknowledged lupus. I thanked it for the polarity it gave me because I was so unwell. It reminded me, I literally went into this mindset of my perfect health. And I saw myself with perfect mobility, perfect energy, strength, and flexibility. I knew I've had that before. So I knew it was, I was capable of getting back to that, so to speak, or, resurrecting that. So I stayed fixed on that knowing. So I encourage you to do the same. Practice connecting to the now and asking yourself if what you're carrying is now or another life. Either way, I encourage you to give it thanks, give it gratitude. All you have to do is infuse it with light. In those ways, collapsing it in order to transmute it. So, and be mindful too, if you're subscribing to affirmation. Sometimes this one's a hard one to share, but it's like illness did not manifest because of a lack of medicine. It manifested because of a lack of light, a lack of energy. Energy that isn't grounded, meaning present, is going to blow a fuse. So think about electricity for a moment. We blow a fuse, if the electrical current doesn't have a proper ground, it's going to blow a fuse. So that's what happens in our body. If we're blowing fuses constantly, we manifest ailment. So I encourage you to look at it that way. And so don't go into resistance, but thank it, give it light for the polarity that it's shown you of who you truly are. That's what I mean by rectifying the ego and giving it thanks, because it gives us the backdrop to see our true self. Whew, that was a lot. Let me take a drink real quick. Okay. I hope that answers your question. Yes, this is Amber Lucy. Will I be finding a new career or job opportunity? Before I even finish reading your question, Amber, Spirit's like showing yes. I'm hearing due diligence. Keep doing the expansion work. and to me, this feels like research or expanding your horizons and how you see yourself, Amber. So I do think, Amber, Lucy, I think you're going to be finding, or sorry, a new job is going to be finding you very, very soon, probably within a week or 2 weeks. I usually don't give timelines because it can cross your free will, but Spirit's giving me the green light on this one. I feel like you're either doing a lot of searching or researching or just kind of like looking into new things. Keep doing that, they're showing. And I feel like something's just going to hit you or like land. So I hope that helps, Amber. This is M. Risa. She says, how often do you contact Erik? Every day. I still channel Erik every day for my clients. I talk to him every day. He's definitely a really prevalent, incredibly grounded guide that helps navigate this realm. Whatever you're dealing with, Erik is phenomenal. So I connect with him every day. Okay, let's see. Let me get caught up on some of your questions here. Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. Kathy Brentlinger says you have become much more confident and independent in your work. Thank you so much. It took me a lot of inner work to get there. I've battled myself a lot. And even gone into places where I've questioned, like, does it even matter what I have to share? And then I realized, like, well, there's no such thing as competition, and specialness isn't real. Like, specialness is also just a made up thing. So nothing is special, therefore everything counts, everything has space, and everything matters. So I just decided to let that light shine for me, because it's awful if it's not shining. So thank you so much for that acknowledgement. It means so much to me. Oh man. Okay. Let's see some more questions. Love you and have missed you. What is the primary thing I need to work on? Cheryl Bull. Thank you so much for your love and support. What is the primary thing I need to work on? So this is Cheryl. I'm going right into, as soon as I look into your energy, and for the suggestion here, Cheryl, this is dropping right into the second chakra, the emotional center. So I'm seeing that feeling like, like offset. I'm seeing like the, I think it's a Libra symbol, like the scales, like feeling like it's like balanced and imbalanced. Okay, so what would be the opposite of that? Whose question was this? Because this is really specific. Cheryl Bull. I went deep into that vision, sorry. Focus on your second chakra, your sacral chakra. It's the orange one. It's your emotional center, your place of creativity and passion and connectedness. Your emotions do speak to your humanity. So it's not something to neglect in your spiritual growth, because if one causes you to neglect the other, you're just creating a dual self. Rather, enrich your sacral chakra by, I want to say, like, I don't know how you would do this, but the element of air, because it feels like I'm just sensing a lot of metal. There's a lot of heaviness in that area. So I wouldn't be surprised if even it's manifesting as like low back issues, hip issues, or lower digestion issues, issues in the lower digestive tract. So because it just feels energetically like a heavier metal. So visualize yourself feeling airy, feeling light, and incorporating the element of air however you can. Even in visualization, inviting air to sort of flow through that chakra and lighten it, bring light to it, and then go into the infinite reality behind that chakra, the sacral chakra. So I hope that helps you. There's also connectivity to the number 8 as well, Cheryl. So maybe just invite that frequency into your space. So that at that point is super consciousness dropping down into your sacral chakra. I guess what that means is to translate that, they're saying, is to look beyond who you are, beyond emotional awareness. So hope that helps. Okay, I see this is Devon. Tips for being an empty nester. Great question. Okay, so what I'm hearing for you specifically is like cultivate your groundedness, your being, your essence through your being, through self-love, through just the essence of who you are instead of what you do, because you're used to that sort of self-awareness, that knowingness being connected to what you do. When the kids are gone and you're feeling like empty, like an empty nester, go back into, it's like meet yourself again, like introduce yourself to yourself, do things to reconnect to yourself so that you don't feel like a ghost to yourself. Give yourself the time and space to invite the things into your life that maybe you put off. Spirit's saying that sense of fulfillment, showing up for yourself, connecting to yourself, will help with that sort of like feeling like a ghost, because you're used to doing, and that filling your sense of purpose and being. And now that the kiddos are gone and you feel like you have an empty nest, go into yourself, create life anew from there by fulfilling you, by fulfilling your own needs, and connecting to your sense of essence through your being instead of your doing. I hope that helps. Okay, interesting. So much coming through. Gosh, I wish I could just get to all of you guys. Ooh, interesting question. Michelle Snyder says, I've been working hard on setting boundaries with spirits in my house and protecting my space because they're scaring my dog. So frustrating. Is there a higher purpose for going through this experience? Boundaries. Boundaries are good. Boundaries are healthy as long as they're put in place through grace and not resistance. But if you're setting boundaries because you're going into protective mode and you're trying to protect, you are going to trap in what you're trying to protect yourself from. And you're going to feel like every time you move and turn around, you hit that thorn, right? You're creating your own thorns around you, so to speak. So Michelle Snyder, if you're feeling like there's spirit in your house that's frightening your dog, I would just encourage you to make the acknowledgement of spirit, because of course they're always around. It's not like they're in your house and not mine, or vice versa. They're always around. But the paranormal activity that is that spikes, that creates disturbance in your path, that's where we need to focus. So I encourage you to not focus on the energy or the entity, but focus on your space. Go through and smudge your space, declare love, light, and things of coherence in your space, and put out this energy of washing away anything that is disruptive in your space. So again, you are sort of claiming the energy and resetting the intent of the energy of your space versus setting boundaries against an entity, because as you can see, that immediately creates attachment. So I encourage you to really look at doing that. And I think that will help I'm really seeing just like the space opening back up. Resistance occurs when you're frustrated, resistance builds, the attachment grows. So it becomes even harder. I even personally had a weird bout with some paranormal activity in my house, go figure. But when I finally stopped, because there were some weird things happening, some really profound things. And I'm like, okay, didn't ask for you to come here. So why are you here? When I finally stopped and made acknowledgement, and without resistance, that's when the whole thing transmuted, and nothing has happened since. I mean, I was having some really strange things happen, and I was scared at times too, especially at night. But I didn't go into resistance. I went into acknowledgement, and that itself sort of transmuted the energy altogether. So I hope that you do that as well, and I hope that you cleanse the energy of your space, and as you do, reset intentions of love and grace and coherence in your space, and things that are in alignment, and washing away anything that is of disturbance. That way you're not disrupted in your daily life, and you're not focusing on an entity or an energy. So I hope that helps. Okay, let's see. I'm just scrolling through your questions. Okay, this is a great question. This is Dakota Sear. Dakota says, Kim, I know you're probably overwhelmed with questions. If you do happen to answer me, can you please have Spirit send me a message I need right now? I feel so disconnected. So first of all, Dakota, know that just because I do this work as a medium doesn't mean that I'm any more connected than you. It just, maybe I just listen in a different way, but I definitely want to address you feeling disconnected. Spirit can always hear you, so never forget that. So they can hear you. I don't have to put that message out there where you say, can you please have them send me a message? They can hear you. They hear your request. Please, please trust that, especially right now under this full moon. That's funny because that's exactly the message that came through earlier when I was channeling, that you are heard. You are transacting currently. If you're feeling disconnected, practice receiving. That's going to be the first, best, and immediate, fastest way for you to reconnect, to feel connected, to invite things back into your space, or what's the word I'm looking for here? Where your energy begins to comprehend its environment again. And remember, you are comprehended constantly. The universe is listening to you, comprehending. So, Dakota, I encourage you to practice receiving. That will begin to open you back up and create spaciousness where you felt stuck or stagnant. And as you do that, when you practice receiving, whether you receive just excitement over something silly, or joy or inspiration, abundance, gratitude, whatever it is that you practice receiving, notice how that opens you up and connects, makes you feel connected again. You'll begin to pulse energetically, and you'll feel connected again. And then that which you are receiving, connecting to, becomes shareable. Then you will be able to share it outside of yourself. So, and this is a lot of us are feeling disconnected, or I should say have felt disconnected through this whole pandemic thing. But when you get into that space, practice receiving again. And you say, well, what can I receive? I feel numb. I don't feel anything. Remember, this is not receiving through an emotional state, but receiving through your inherent, your innate truth, that receiving all that you are. Nothing is off limits unless you say it is. So practice receiving to rebuild your ability to feel connected. And then from there, listen to your inner dialogue. If you're telling yourself all the time, I'm disconnected, I feel disconnected, I don't feel good, I'm isolated, you'll create that experience for yourself. So watch your inner dialogue, be mindful of it. And even if that is dominant in your inner dialogue, practice witness consciousness. Just witness what's going on around you. Witness how green the tree is, or witness the tree just in itself. That will help you to stay out of the I, me state, the ego state that wants you to never be satisfied and fulfilled. I hope that helps. Practice receiving, connect to yourself, and that will allow you to feel connected around you. Receiving inspiration too. If you hold space for inspiration, you will be inspired. So I hope that helps. Okay, let's see. Going back up. Yo, Kim, how are you doing? Hey, Danny Fisher. Good to see you. I'm good. I feel like I've been talking a long time. Wait, what time did we start? Okay, an hour and 10 minutes we've been going. Not too bad, right? I'm good, Danny. Thank you. Really good. Excited to go to Florida in a few days, and then from there, heading out to Sedona. So my God, I can't wait. It's almost been a year since I've been there. Taking all of my crystals to put on the land, which is going to be a lot to travel with, but Spirit says so. I kind of feel like with my guides lately, do you guys feel this way? My guides have been telling me to do things that I feel like it's like Simon says. Simon says, go feng shui your front door and buy a whole bunch of new plants and redo the whole thing to invite new chi. I'm like, okay. So I go and do that. And it's like the moment I sort of step into like the I me state, then they're like, ding, 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 you're wrong. So it's interesting. Like they've been playing that game. Well, I shouldn't say game, but doing that with me lately where it's like, okay, all I can do right now is surrender. All I can do is listen. But thank God, because amazing things happen when I surrender and listen. So Danny, things are great. Thank you so much for asking. And if you missed it earlier, Danny, when I'm in Sedona, I am going to be streaming live every single day. So I hope you guys will join me. It's going to be so good. We're going to do some really cool stuff. Awesome. Dakota, the one that I was just answering the question for, says, oh my gosh, I love you. I can feel my body tingle before you answered. Amazing. So see, you're already receiving. You're already practicing receiving and feeling that connectedness again. Capture the light of the moon, the full light of the moon tomorrow. Let it pool inside you and let it reinvent every fractal of your being in the best way possible. You don't have to know what that is. Let the universe do the work for you. Let's see. That's right. Mom says front entry is important. It is. The front entry of your home is where you receive chi. It's the mouth of chi. So if your front entry is cluttered, dirty, unpleasant to look at, if it's messy and there's old things around, dead plants, get rid of it. If there's dead plants anywhere in your space, get rid of it. Chi does not like that energetically. It's like a push mechanism. It pushes chi away. Chi is just life force energy. When you want your life to be rich and abundant and vivacious and enriched, remove these things. Have lively things, colorful things in your space. Work with the elements, metal, earth, wind, fire, water. Work with the elements as well. But Chi likes clean, tidy spaces, certain colors in accordance to certain directions, and so on and so on. So actually, that would be a great full moon ritual for all of us. Clean the entire front entryway, your front door, even wash the windows or whatever on your front door. Sweep, have a clean floor. Remove clutter in your front entryway once you're in the front door. Is it cluttered? Is it something nice and pleasant to look at? A live plant is really great feng shui at your front door for inviting prosperity. So some of these little tiny fixes and cures can make a big impact in your life. I know it sounds like, really? But trust me, I've done it enough to go, oh my God, all I did, when you look at the art of feng shui, all I did was research what to do for prosperity. And I did it in my kitchen. And, the next day something, or that week something happens that, abundance floods in. So I promise you, the universe is listening. So it'd be a great full moon ritual to do for yourself, is to really invite chi. One of the cool things I even did that Spirit suggested when I surrendered, I bought a welcome mat for my front door to literally say, welcome for chi. It was welcoming chi energy into my home. So kind of cool and fun. Silver Moon says, just found you. Where did you go? I didn't go anywhere. Peekaboo. Last time I saw you, you was channeling Erik. Glad you're back. Hi. Well, thank you so much. Right. I left channeling Erik, like, I think this fall will be 3 years ago. It was just too overwhelming, too demanding. And it was taking me away from just kind of like my personal things that I wanted to do. I was writing a book at the time, and just wanted to make sure I was staying authentic to the way I channel and what I wanted to share and the messaging I was putting out. So that's why I left and continue to do my own thing. So Silver Moon, I'm glad we're reunited. Thanks for being here. Okay. All right. Last call. Ooh, good questions, you guys. Good questions. Mine says, please wipe your paws. How cute. You're welcome, Dakota. You're so welcome. Oh, hi, Tiffany. Tiffany Arnold is on here. Hello. I hope you're doing good and feeling bright. Does anybody else feel like it's Saturday night? I cannot get with the time. It's so weird. Let's see. Just reading through some of you guys' questions. Sorry, there was one that Spirit wanted to grab, and now I don't even know which one it was. Let's see. Where did it go? I don't know. I'll have to keep scrolling. Oh, Patty Summer. Will I ever be loved unconditionally from someone? Yikes. What matters most, Patty, is if you love yourself unconditionally, and that nature comes from inside of you. And you might say, well, I do, but if you feel empty without unconditional love from someone, then that emptiness breeds itself in the form of a relationship. So, because of course it needs energy to live, so it'll breed itself. Practice. I encourage you to really practice inviting that into your space, loving yourself, and what does that mean? It means honoring every aspect of who you are, every want, every need, every desire, every judgment, accepting yourself wholly and fully on the level of your humanity and also your spirituality. Loving yourself inside and out without judgment. There are no flaws. You're not full and whole and fulfilled with a partner. You are on your own, and then that becomes shareable with a partner. And when you know that and you walk in that truth, when you find a partner that is also in that truth for themselves, it's magic, because you're already liberated from feeling like you have to make the other one happy or vice versa. It's really incredible. So I encourage you, Patty, to practice awareness of your own inner dialogue, and if there are any sort of stop mechanisms that do not allow you to accept yourself fully and love yourself wholly and completely. You are magical poetry, Patty, and I hope you accept that about yourself. Accept your perfection and imperfection at the same time, and you will manifest that partner. You will know the connection. It will show up once you have that alignment within yourself. It can show up like that. For those of you that have heard me talk about James, my fiance, I literally, actually, I'll share this quick little story. Feng shuied my room to invite new energy into my space. I feng shuied it for love and romance and companionship, because that's what I wanted. But I also completely let go of it. I surrendered, and I was like, I'm just going to bury my head in my work this year, and I'm just going to build and just do great things. I completely let go of it. And 2 days later, he just dropped out of the sky, and there he was. And I am so thankful, so thankful. I love that. MCFC fan says Patty is a legend. Absolutely. And always ask yourself, ask yourself, what legacy are you living? What is your living legacy? Because you're always being heard. The universe is always hearing you. We're always transacting. We're always sharing. Oh, thank you, Kathy. I love James too. Yes, I can't wait to share the love story sometime. Like there's just some crazy things that happen that were like, oh my God, this is mind blowing. But um, when, I mean, just sit in the knowing for a moment that the universe comprehends you. Like, oh my goodness gracious, can you imagine what that means? There's no stop mechanism, which means the echo of you goes on and on and on forever. So, what are you emanating? What are you telling the universe about you? Are you telling it that you are full of passion and you're bright and you have a light, and you do good and you uplift through love and you carry grace? Or is it, I can't see my way through this world and I'm caught up, It is, I know, Patty, it is tough. Sometimes we struggle. I have been there. I have been places where I thought, if I can will anything to myself, why can't I will myself out of this world? I wanted to so bad. We get in those spots, but beneath that, there was this fire burning that was like, girl, you're not done. You're not done. It's like, okay. So you listen to that inner voice and you put one foot in front of the other. You don't have to know where you're going as long as you keep moving. That's what matters. And then eventually you gain momentum and then intent towards where you're moving, not the outcome. Don't worry about the outcome, just where you're going, intent with what you're doing. Stay in that alignment. And I promise you, the universe is comprehending you. The universe is listening. And it's everything you touch, everything you become in contact with becomes a part of your living legacy. So maybe something to tuck you in tonight, something really interesting. I think we should all just seal the night with that. I do want to, I see your questions. DR, I see your question. I see all of your guys' questions. So please, if you don't mind, go to the latest Facebook post on my page, put your questions there. And I'm going to continue to create videos and literally just writing your name and your question in my journal. And I'm going to put your videos up on my YouTube and also on social media. So you can see where I'm answering your questions. Because I want to connect, I want to help, I want to share as much as I possibly can because that's what I'm here for. So with that being said, a reminder, tonight is the last night for the sale. I know a lot of you guys were upset that you missed the sale that I had on my private sessions. So I did it on Monday. I did a 24-hour sale, and a lot of you guys messaged me and wrote saying that you missed the sale and you were, sad that you missed it. So I put the sale prices back up through the weekend. So tonight being Sunday, even though it feels like Saturday, I'm not sure why, tonight is the end of that sale. So if you feel like your heart can benefit from a private session, from a personal session, take advantage of that sale while it's still happening. It will end tonight at midnight. Actually, maybe tomorrow morning, depends on when I remember to jump on and change my prices. But the sale does end tonight. I just wanted to give you guys some extra time to jump on and be able to do that. So the week that I'm in Sedona, I won't be taking any private sessions that week, period. I just want to focus fully on being present to the land, but I will be streaming live every single day, taking your questions and showing you what we're into. So Kimberly-Ray.com is my website for those of you that may not know, Kimberly-Ray.com. You can go there and find out information too about the upcoming retreat in October in Sedona. So if you have any questions at all about that, please let me know. I would love to answer your questions. In the meantime, you guys, thank you so much for being here tonight with me, for sharing your Sunday night with me. I absolutely love this connectivity, and I want to keep doing it every Sunday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, to connect and share with you and hold space and create community. So until then, I thank you guys for being here, and I encourage you once again, please take good care of yourselves and take care of each other. And I will see you on social media across the board this week. All right, guys. Yeah. Good night. Sleep well, and look for that video tomorrow for full moon ritual. Really cool stuff going on. So I'll see you then.